Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Online Educator, and today we'll be discussing about the recontinuing of the lectures of the haloalkanes and haloarenes. Today we'll be discussing all the reactions of the haloalkanes. Okay, so from the first we are taking the methods of preparation of haloalkanes. So we prepare the haloalkanes from the alcohols. So we take the alcohol, it's just the replacing of alcohol and the halogen. We replace the groups, okay. So the alcohol, the OH comes and fix up with the hydrogen, and the halogen X comes and sticks with the R, the alkali. Okay, and here the reaction ROH plus HCl gives RCl plus H2O. ROH plus NaBr plus H2SO4 gives RBr NaHSO4 and H2O. The 3ROH plus PX3 gives 3RX plus H3PO3, and the X can be either chlorine or bromine. Here simply this halogen has jumped here and the OH has jumped here. Alright, and don't forget that we have took 3 here, so we had got H3PO4, H3PO3. Okay, and again here ROH plus PCl5 gives RCl, POCl3 and HCl acid. Okay, here we take a reaction ROH passing with red phosphorus and the halogen. We are passing it, the halogen can be Br2 or I2, and we get our haloalkane. This is a very important reaction, so I have given a star marks, because in this reaction ROH plus SOCl2 gives RCl plus SO2 gas and HCl. These two gas is escaped. Okay, these gas escapes and we get a pure haloalkane. So if any time if you'll get a question to which will be asking you that prepare the pure haloalkane, then you will be going to write this reaction which says that it is the preparation from alcohols. ROH plus SOCl2 gives RCl, which is a pure haloalkane, plus SO2 gas and HCl gas. These two gas escapes out. Okay, and we get the our pure haloalkane. Now we come to our next point, from the hydrocarbons. From the hydrocarbons, this is a hydrocarbon, we pass it in sunlight and chlorination reaction, I would say this. So in the presence of sunlight we get two products, minor product and the major product. This is the Markovnikov rule. Okay, and here it says that the chlorine should get and stick up to that carbon which has the least hydrogen atom. This is the Markovnikov rule. Okay, so here the least carbon it had, here I will say the least carbon it had 2. Alright, and the highest carbon has 3. So the carbon should stick in the least carbon here. So this is the major product, this is the Markovnikov rule product, and this is the anti-Markovnikov, where the chlorine had sticked up in the last carbon. Okay, so this is the minor product and this is the major product, because Markovnikov rule product is the major product in the reaction. Okay, now we come from the alkene. Look here, it is alkene. So alkene means double bond, so breakage of double bond, and here we see that there is a break of pi bond and formation of 2 sigma bond. Okay, formation of 2 sigma bond. I have discussed that the sigma bonds are the single bond and the pi bond is the double bond. So the double bond breaks out, and here the halogen and the hydrogen get sticked up. So formation of 2 sigma bonds, 2 single bond, and breakage of 1 double bond. Same is the reaction here, CH3CH double bond CH2. This is the alkene. It reacts with HI. Okay, we have just put the value of X, we took I, and we get our minor and major product. Again we will have the Markovnikov rule here, the least hydrogen containing carbon, it should get attached to that. Alright, and we get our major product and we get our minor product. Major product is the Markovnikov product. Okay, now we come to the next reaction. It is the alkene bromination. It is passed through the catalyst carbon tetrachloride. Okay, and it gives BrSCH2, and look here, we just simply got that it is a breakage of double bond and the bromine gets attached in one carbon. Okay, here one bromine attached and here one bromine attached. Look, alright, and we get a Wick dibromide. Then we come our halogen exchange, the two reaction, Finkelstein reaction and the Schwarz reaction. In Finkelstein reaction we see that there is a replacement of the halogen. Okay, the Ni, the sodium iodide, this halogen comes and jumps here, and the Rx, this halogen comes and attached with the Na, the sodium, and we get Ri and NaX. X can be Cl or bromine. Now why can't we use fluorine? With fluoride we use the Schwarz reaction. CH3Br plus Ag5 AgF gives CH3F plus AgBr. Now AgF is a covalent compound, so Ag and F can easily get separated. Okay, and the fluorine comes out and it reacts with CH3 and it forms CH3F. Alright, now we take our next reactions. So now we'll be discussing the neutrophilic substitution of alkali halides. Here we take the reagents, nucleophile, and the substitution product we get and the class of the main product. Alright, so we took a reagent NaOH or KOH and the OH, the nucleophile, and we get a alcohol. Okay, we get a alcohol from the reagent. The nucleophile gets generated. Okay, so here we take NaOR, we get the nucleophile R-O, and we get our ether. Okay, so accordingly every reagent is producing its nucleophile and it reacts and it gives the product. So NaI, sodium iodide, gives the nucleophile I minus and it reacts and it gives us alkali iodide. And again we have this NH3, it gives the nucleophile NH3 and it reacts and we get a primary amine. Okay, RNH2. Again we take the R-NH2 and it gives the reagent R-NH2 and it gives RNHR- which is secondary amine. And like this we'll get a tertiary amine. Okay, R-NH, and this reagent gives the nucleophile R-NH and we get the substitution product RN R-, and we get this is a tertiary amine. It goes on with KCN. KCN gives CN. We get cyanide, the nucleophile, and it attacks and we get us RCN, which is also called nitrile or cyanide. Okay, and again we have AgCN, the nucleophile, and we get RNC, isocyanide, it is isonitrile. More reactions we have KNO2, it gives us the nucleophile NO2 and it reacts with the R, this I attack to R. Okay, the nucleophile attacks to R and it forms RO and NO2 and we get the alkyl nitrite. Same we have the AgNO2, it gives us the Ag and NO2 and the NO2 comes out as the nucleophile and we get our product RNO2 and we get here the nitroalkane. Now we have the R-COOAg. It gives us the reagent R-COO and we get here ester. Okay, R-COOR. And here we take LiH4 and the reagent is H and we get our alkali. This is CH3 plus H and it gives hydrocarbon. Okay, and now we have our last, the nucleophile reaction, the R- plus M plus. Okay, we get our nucleophile R- and R- and it forms an alkane. All right, this is the nucleophile. It attacks, this nucleophile attacks and it forms the alkane. Now we come to our more two topics. It is the Grignard reagent and the Wurtz reaction. Okay, now we discuss the elimination reaction. I'm really very sorry. After elimination reaction, it comes the reaction with metals, and there we'll be seeing the Grignard reagent and the Wurtz reaction. So here I take the elimination reaction. We had discussed in the last lecture that in elimination reaction we see a dehydrohalogenation where we see the removal of H and X. H removal is from the beta carbon and H is from alpha carbon. Alright, so here we took an example. Alright, and this example says that it is passed with alcoholic KOH and the alpha carbons X is removed and the beta carbons hydrogen is removed. Alright, so we took an example CH3 CH2 plus CH plus CH plus CH3 CH2 CH and CH2 is passed in alcoholic KOH and we get two products. One is a minor and one is a major product. I'll discuss why, which is a major, which is a minor. So here we see that the double bond is on the second carbon, and here the double bond is on first carbon. The stability of the carbon is measured by, you just hide this bond, and you will be seeing that here you have. So we just circle this out, okay, we are just circling this, and we just see that the more the number of hydrogen connected with, okay, so I circle this, we have 3 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, so this is having 5 hydrogen connected, okay. If we circle this compound, okay, this double bond, then we have only 2 hydrogen. So more H, more is more stable, okay. More the hydrogen present in the side of the double bond, more is the stability, more H, more stability of the double bond. So I hope it is clear. Here we see that we have 2 hydrogen and 5 hydrogen, okay, and here we have only 2 hydrogen. This is less stable and this is more stable. So the more stable compound is always the major product, and the less stable is the minor product. We have one more reason, that in this major product we will be seeing that we have 2 R group present, okay, we will have 2 R group present. You see here, this is C2H5, this is a alkali, okay, and this is 2 an alkali, so we have two alkali present. All right, it just mention here the H, I'm not writing it. So we have 2 substitution in the minor product, we get only 1 R present, so it is 1 substitution. So which is more stable? More the alkali present, more is the R present, more it is stable. So I gave 2 reasons why why it is a major product and why it is stable. So one is the encircling this double bond and seeing around how many carbons, how many hydrogens are present, okay. So here we have 2 hydrogen, here we have 5 hydrogen, and in this one we just need to see the R present, okay. We had 2 R group present, so it has 2 substitution, here we had 1 R present, so it is 1 substitution. Obviously this stability will be in this order. All right, the 2 degree, the 2 degree I will say is more stable. All right, so more stable is the more stable, then it is the major product, less stable it is the minor product. So this was the reaction, CH3 CH2 CH, this is CH2, this is CHBr, CH3 in presence of alcoholic KOH, it gives us CH3 CH2 CH double bond CH3. This is the major product, and the minor product is CH3 CH2 CH2 CH double bond CH2. All right, now we come to our point, the reaction of metals, where we will be seeing the 2 types, the Grignard reagent and the Wurtz reaction. So now we will be discussing the reaction with metals. The Grignard reagent, we know RMgX, okay, it breaks and we get as the nucleophile and the Mg plus X, okay. Mg's valency is Mg2 plus, so to fulfill one valency we have the X, one more is left, so we get a plus charge over it. The Grignard reagent plus acidic solution, it gives us alkane. So CH3MgBr plus acidic solution, it gives us the methane gas, okay. So CH3MgBr plus HCl gives CH4 and MgBrCl. What happened is that the H has come and it gets attached to the CH3, and the MgBr gets attached to the Cl, and we get the methane gas and the remaining product, okay. So here we took C2H5 MgBr, and again here it breaks from OH minus plus H plus, so H plus comes and attacks with this on this, and the MgBr comes and attached with the OH, and we get the ethane gas. Here it was methane gas, okay, here we had the ethane gas, okay, and the remaining product. Same we saw that we take cyclohexane and the MgCl plus HBr. So HBr breaks in H plus and Br minus. Br minus comes and attach with it, and H plus attacks here, and we get the cyclohexane and the MgBrCl. So this was the Grignard reagent. And why we use Grignard reagent in the presence of ether and Wurtz reaction in presence of ether, I'll be discussing here. First we discuss the Wurtz reaction. So Wurtz reaction says that the alkali halide react with in the presence of sodium, and we get a alkane, okay, 2RBr, okay, and the in presence of Na, or we use the sodium and we get the alkane and the remainder. Na brings out this bromine. The bromine goes and gets attached to sodium, and the 2R is free from the Br, and we get the alkane. So CH3Br plus 2Na gives CH3Br plus and gives alkane and 2NHBr. Look, the Br, 1Br and the 2Br gets out and gets attached to Na, and the CH3 combines and it gives us alkane. Same is here, we saw. Okay, and we get the alkene, and the sodium brought out the Br to 2Br, and we get the alkane and the remaining product, the 2NaBr. Here again it did the same. The Na took out these 2 chlorine and it took away, and we get our alkane here. Alright, now why this was the all Woods reaction? It is the presence of sodium. This was all thing in class 11's hydrocarbons. Okay, so why we use dry ether? We use, and one more thing, in class 11 we had also discussed that the Woods reaction, it always happens with the even number of carbon. Okay, the even number of carbon. Now why we use dry ether is that the sodium, alright, in Woods reaction we use sodium. This sodium, it prevents, we use a dry ether to prevent the reaction of sodium and water, and it gives us sodium hydroxide. We prevent the reaction to, so the prevention of sodium getting reacted with water, we use the dry ether with, and the same is with Grignard reagent too. The Mg reacts with H2 and it gives us MgOH whole twice. Okay, it gives us the hydroxide of the metal. So to prevent this, so to prevent the reaction and make it successful, we use the dry ether to prevent sodium and magnesium reacting with water and giving hydroxide. To prevent this, we use dry ether. So I hope everything was clear. So we completed the all the reactions of the haloalkanes. I have followed the NCRT of class 12. Okay, the volume 2. So if I have missed anything, then you can comment me down, and I'll be making that topic come again. So in the next video, I'll be discussing the reactions of the haloalkanes. Okay, we'll be having it in 5.3 and 5.4. First, I'll be discussing what are the reactions in haloarenes, and then after that, I'll be bringing up again all the reactions of the haloalkanes. So I hope you understood everything. So thanks for watching, and do share it with everyone. Thank you.